Kiddos, I wanted to do a little review refresher of how we create common denominators. So looking at these two pieces here, I see that I have a yellow piece that has, or a yellow circle that has two pieces colored in, and a pink circle that has one. Now I know that I could say as a fraction, this is 2/3. Two of the pieces are yellow, there's 3 in total. This one I can call 1/4. And although when I'm looking at them, they look different, the yellow looks much bigger, giving an opinion in math isn't going to be enough. I need to give number or numerical evidence. So that's what I'm going to do. So knowing that I have 2/3 and 1/4, I'm going to go ahead and take them over to their fraction form. And I know that in order for my fraction pieces to be the same size, that bottom number needs to match. So I need to figure out with multiples how I can make a 3 and a 4 into the same number. As a reminder, when I'm talking about multiples, that's just a really fancy way of saying skip counting. Don't overthink it. You're really, really good with this. Remember, we have our fingers and our toes and our nose. If we don't know how to skip count by a number, we can hold up that many fingers and count it off time and time again to keep track of our list. So if we were doing the multiples of a number like 6, 12, 18, 24. Again, if we're not sure, hold up 6 fingers and count up. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and just keep track of your numbers written down as a list. Once we figure out the first time they meet the least common multiple, then we're going to use that to make our fractions match. As a reminder, multiples go on forever, so I'm never going to ask you for the greatest common multiple. We're always looking for the smallest way that we can make them match. So if we go back to our original fractions looking at 3 and 4, we skip count by 3, 3, 6, 9, 12. We skip count by 4, 4, 8, 12. The first time they match is a 12, and I'm going to use that number to help me do some multiplication magic. So I know that 3 times 4 is 12, and I know that 4 times 3 is 12. So I need to make sure that I'm using the same number on the bottom and the top, because when we work with fractions, fractions have to be fair. That is the number one rule. Fractions have to be fair. So if I'm using 4 on the left, I'm using 4 on the right. Okay, keep them the same. So 2 times 4, 3 times 4, 1 times 3, 4 times 3. Find that match. Once I find the number that matches, I have to use it with multiplication. 2 times 4 is 8. 3 times 4 is 12. 4 times 3 is 12. 1 times 3 is 3. Now that they match, I can use them to add them, subtract them, compare them, order them. Lots and lots of options once they have that same denominator. So let's look at, and I want to get to one that we haven't talked about yet. Let's look at this cutie. So starting off, I see that I have 3/4 and 5/6. And I know that in order to make them match or have the same piece size, I'm going to look at these denominators. And I'm going to use my multiples to find the smallest match. So 4, 8, 12, 6, 12, 18. The first match I see is 12, so that's the one that I'm going to use. So I want to make 3/4 and 5/6, both into 12ths. Once I find that denominator, I'm going to go ahead and write it right next to it so I know what my goal is. Multiplication mystery. 4 times what is 12? It's 3. If I do it to the bottom, I do it to the top. Fractions have to be fair. 3 times 3 is 9. 6 times what is 12? 6 times 2 is 12. If I do it to the bottom, I do it to the top. 5 times 2 is 10. Now I have 9/12 and 10/12. If I wanted to compare them, I could say that 10/12 is greater. If I wanted to add them, I could do that as well. As soon as they have the same denominators, I have lots and lots of options of what I can do with them. Let's do one more. Let's try 3/12 and 2/6. Because we talked in class, we don't always have to change both, right? So if I skip count by 12 and I skip count by 6, because I see that's the number that needs to match. 12, 24, 36, big number, I'm not going to go super far. 6, 12, 18. Right here I have a match. That tells me that I only need to change one of them, right? Because if my goal is to make them 12 and I already have a 12, it is done. I don't have to do anything else there. I just come up to this side and I say, okay, I have 3/12. That's perfect. How do I make this a 12? 6 times 2 is 12. If I use it on the bottom, I use it on the top. 2 times 2 is 4. I can now compare 3/12 and 4/12. I can order them. I can add them. All right, love bugs, keep practicing this skill, and I will see you in class.